Hey, my awesome people. I'm going to show you how to make a stupid easy, stupid cute Christmas ornament that makes it look like you have it all together this Christmas.
So here's our supplies. I have a small wooden hoop, some cut macrame core, and a small embroidery thread. I'm going to take this macrame core that I've already cut. I'm going to fold it in half and create a nice loop. I'm going to make sure my loop goes underneath and points into the center. I'm going to take my tails, thread them through my loop, and I'm going to pull away from the wooden circle. Now, I want to repeat that same process about 1,000,000 times. I take my loop underneath, make sure it is in my circle, take my tails, thread them in the circle, and pull it away from the hoop. Now, it is going to be really important that I make sure that I am following these exact same movements, or else it is not going to be consistent. You can see here, my loop is not in the middle of the circle. It's on the outside. And sure, yeah, that looks great. But actually, if you look closely here, you can see my knot is not as consistent as the other ones. And I don't want that. I want this to be pretty. So I fix it, no problem. Make sure my loop is inside the circle. Make sure I take my tails, thread them through, and then pull away from the circle. Now I'm just going to make sure that I do this consistently for about, I don't know, 20 more times or so. Get that loop in the hoop. Get that loop in the hoop. Check your loop in the hoop. Now you can do it too. Yes, this is the type of stuff that goes through my brain. And voila, by a little bit of movie magic, I have what looks like an octopus here. Now, I can go with this look, but I don't. So I'm going to grab some scissors, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this all the way around. It just seems a little bit long. I'm not really being specific. I'm not really taking any measurements. I should. Actually, I'll probably end up having to go back and fix this after it's all said and done, but hey, whatever. I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm just going to get it a little bit shorter to my liking here, a little bit more manageable. And afterwards, I'm just going to move that trash out of the way there. And again, I could go with this look. This is perfectly fine, but let's be extra. I'm going to take this comb and I'm going to wiggle and fray the edges here. You can see that macrame cord is starting to come unraveled. It's creating a really nice texture. Now, this is giving me a little bit of a struggle, so I like to wiggle it a little bit and pull, which will also tighten your knots. Pretty handy. I want to make sure that I'm, again, consistent all the way around. So I'm going to flip it over and get it on the back side just to double check there. And you can definitely tell that I'm probably going to have to go back and do a little trimming, some of those areas a little bit longer than others. But hey, whatever. Maybe we'll just live with it. It's beautiful. It's great. So for our second option, we're going to start the exact same way, same number of macrame cords, but this time there's a twist. I'm going to double up before I fold them in half and create that loop. Put that loop in that hoop. Don't worry, I'm not going to sing this time, but I am going to take those tails, I'm going to thread them through, and I'm going to pull extra tight. Since these are going to be doubled up, I'm going to make sure that I get that knot as tight as possible. It's going to be more likely to come undone this way. And as you've guessed it, I'm going to put that on repeat. Make sure I follow those exact same hand motions. Thread it through, pull it tight, double check that all my knots are facing the correct way. And I love this look because it's going to create kind of a more chunky look. It's going to look a little bit more like a snowflake rather than like a Christmas wreath. But I'm going to do the exact same. Make sure I fill it all the way around. Grab my scissors, trim it up. Don't worry, it's going to be just as lopsided. Take my comb, fluff it up, call it good. And the very last thing I'm going to do is get my embroidery thread. I'm going to loop it through, make sure that the two tails are touching. Again, I'm going to create a loop. I'm going to take those tails, I'm going to pull them all the way through the loop this time because I am a professional at this point, and it's going to create a nice string that I can hang my very cute, very easy ornaments from. Merry Christmas, y'all!